I'm Scott from Weesnax. I'm here to talk to you about your irrigation system. Tell me everything I need to know about your wonderful irrigation system.
My name is Michael Box. I'm with the company Sustainable Village. We're out of Boulder, Colorado. We design irrigation systems that are highly efficient and plant responsive. So basically we use a lot of kind of standard drip irrigation components and then a handful of things that aren't used in other drip irrigation systems. This is called a Bluemat. These things are made in Austria. And what they are is moisture sensing valves. So they're made in Austria. We import them here to the States and put them in our system to kind of make them the crux of the whole system. And really what they are is a moisture sensing valve. So these things, we open them up, fill them with water. So that's a solid water column inside. And we pressurize a water system. So this line would be connected to a supply line that's pressurized all the way up to this point right here, 24 hours a day. And right underneath there is a little pinch valve. So this is buried in the soil, ceramic tip. As the soil dries out, this tip dries out and creates a negative pressure inside the carrot. We call them carrots colloquially. Inside the carrot, which pulls against a little diaphragm, kind of pulls against a rubber diaphragm that opens this valve and allows water to flow through. So that can either drip right out into a pot or through a series of distribution drippers or an array of soaker hose, whatever. We can do a lot of different things with it. But the main thing is, the valve is closed, the soil dries out, opens the valve, water flows through, rehydrates the soil, and then the cone rehydrates and closes the valve.
So it takes like the guesswork out. It's going to do the job of moisturizing for you. It's going to tell you when you're in trouble.
Bottom line is it's able to maintain a really static moisture level in the soil consistently. And we can do that from pot to pot to pot or raised beds. We can do it in native soil. And they're really affordable in their price point.
What's the price point on these?
They're about $7, something like that.
Oh, that's great. So you can run a huge operation or a small operation.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah, so we can do it in raised beds. Like we'll do big, 4 by 120 foot raised beds and it'll only have maybe 8 of these sensors in the whole thing. Or we can do, 1 per pot and feed them into these dripper rings.
Oh, cool.
Like that, so, to give kind of nice even distribution. We can do really crazy stuff where say you got 100 pots and you've got them all dialed in at the exact same moisture level. And we're able to verify all that stuff with various tensiometers. So tensiometers are devices that measure pressure, but in this case they measure the soil tension pressure. And it's a way to measure moisture levels in soil. So tensiometers are like kind of the agricultural industry standard for measuring soil moisture. And they'll either measure in centibars or millibars, which are units of pressure. They're like 1 bar is 15 psi, it's like a metric thing. Anyways, so we can kind of get independent verification of the moisture levels. We can see that every pot in a room, say we got 100 pots,
right? Every
pot in the room is sitting right at 100 millibars or 80 millibars, which are these, again, readings for the units of pressure. So we have every pot. If we want to change the moisture level in the soil, we can take an adjustable pressure reducer. So this is a pressure reducer. We can turn the dial on this and drop the pressure down. And if we drop the pressure down, that's going to dry out every pot in the whole room.
You can cover the whole room.
Same, yeah. And all that, like we can follow, let's see. We got it down to a science where we have a chart. So we can, by changing the pressure on the back end of the system, we can uniformly lower the moisture level or raise the moisture level on the soil consistently from every pot in the room, no matter where they are, which is the really cool thing. Like if you have a bunch of pots that are near the air exhaust or the air intake, they're going to dry out faster than the ones in the center.
Big problem,
or maybe there's a hot spot in the room, those plants are going to dry out faster. With this, that doesn't really matter because each pot each container has its own moisture sensing valve in it to maintain that exact moisture level in that exact container. If you're in a greenhouse where you have hot days, the plants are going to use a lot more water. That doesn't matter. They'll get exactly the amount of water they need. On a cloudy day, less water. So it really differs, from like a drip system with a timer. It's going to deliver the same amount of water every day, irrespective of any kind of environmental conditions. This takes into account all the microclimates of a particular space or the environmental conditions of the day.
Before I ask you about other gadgets, because you have a few here, tell me about Where do you deliver? If I'm in wherever, I'm in Alabama, California, do you do all the states?
Yeah, we do, and we have like hundreds of commercial facilities throughout the U.S., Canada. We're based, like I said, based out of Colorado.
What about places like Puerto Rico, Hawaii?
We have some big systems in Puerto Rico too, and Hawaii. Yeah, no problem. We ship to pretty much any country in the world. We have systems all over we just did a lot of big ones in Australia, actually. As a matter of fact.
That's huge. I know Australia's getting big. That's great.
No, for sure. So
show us some more gadgets.
Yeah, some more gadgets. A lot of the moisture meters. This device here, that's called an IrriCloud. That is wired into one of these tensiometers, right? So this has a wire that would normally go right to that box, and we can run several of the meters into it. And that's got a SIM card in it that'll talk to a cloud, so you can, on your phone or on a browser application, just look at charts and show the moisture levels in your soil.
So I could be wherever. I could be way away from my...
You could be in Puerto Rico, and your grow could be back here in New Mexico.
Check it on my phone.
And you can just make sure the moisture levels are spot on. And they are. Like, they'll be held very, very consistently with all
Can I control it through my phone?
No, that's an independent observation point.
So you have to have a person on point in order to make the adjustment, but at least I'll know the information.
If you needed to make an adjustment. But really, once you get these things dialed in and locked in, I mean, they're ready to roll. You know, I mean, most growers, like for an outdoor crop, if you're doing big pots outdoors or something like that, you know, they'll dial them in June. They don't touch their irrigation until they, you know, pull the stuff out in October when they're harvesting. But yeah. So we do some stuff for house plants too. That's kind of a neat little thing. But for, you know, the cannabis world, it's all these, the Bluemats.
What's the biggest facility you ran?
The biggest facility we've done, I've got one up in Michigan. It's 39 acres of outdoor. That's like, you know, that's 12,000 45-gallon pots outside. Yeah, that's a good one.
What's the average size operation you do?
You know, here's the thing. We really don't discriminate at all with people. So we do lots and lots of home grows. We can run these off of gravity. We don't need a pressurized system. We only need 2 PSI to make the systems work. So you can run it off a gravity bucket and run your 6 plants at home. You know, that's kind of a bread and butter for us. It's just selling these little kits out the door for home growers, and they love it because they, you know, they can leave their grow for a week or so and walk away and, like, you know, save their marriage.
Who got all this started? Whose brainchild is this?
So Bluemat itself, the Bluemat brand, is from Austria. It's an Austrian company. There were some dudes in Austria in the 80s that came up with this. Our company's called Sustainable Village, and we're the master distributors for the U.S. and Mexico. We distribute into Canada too. The owner of this company is named Steve Troy, and he's kind of been in the like appropriate technology, sustainable living kind of world for, like, honestly, he's like older dude. So he got started up in Garberville in Northern California, up in Humboldt County in 1969. And he opened the first grow store up there back then. So we've had this Bluemat brand as like one of our products for a long time.
Are they original permaculture kind of cats?
Yeah. We're all like, everybody on our staff has their permaculture design certification and all their whole design staff.
Very cool.
But we're really into that regenerative agriculture. We do locally up in Colorado. We do a lot of large scale permaculture and regenerative ag installations. So, like, you know, where we're dealing, some of those are actually in the hundreds of acres, but they're not drip irrigation based.
Right.
We have other methods for irrigating.
How do we find you? Are we looking for Bluemat, or are we looking for a Sustainable Village?
I mean, we're kind of one and the same, but Sustainable Village is our company. So sustainablevillage.com is the website. There's, you know, the other thing we do is we do free quotes and designs. So if you're getting a Bluemat system and you're interested in it, you can go to sustainablevillage.com. On the upper right corner, there is a request a quote button. You can hit that button and, like, we'll give you totally free, no obligation, whatever, drawing, parts list, price tag for the whole system, and then we supply. That's our business models. We do the design work, and we supply the parts, and then give all the customer service and consulting to make sure it
Man, that's
functions.
incredible.
Yeah.
You guys, one, you don't discriminate, so you're taking care of small time, big time. You're putting in all the work. You're helping them design their stuff, and then you're also looking inside and saying, I think this will work. I don't think this is going to work, right? And so you're basically outfitting them from the beginning to the end. Yeah,
and our staff's got a ton of grow experience. So, like, we also, you know, do a lot of, you know, free consulting, basically, as, you know, with all of our clients. We don't sell nutrients. We don't sell soil. We'll talk about it a little bit on the phone, but Yeah, we just stick to irrigation, watering.
Stick to what you're great at.
Yeah, that's the only thing we want to. That's the only thing we want to like really put our name on is irrigation.
You said you're up there
but
in
I will
Boulder?
do that any day of the week. Like I'll back up anything we do anytime.
So you said you're up there in Boulder?
Yeah, Boulder, Colorado.
But you guys are working all over the United States.
That's right. Yeah,
Right on.
The majority like of our business is outside of Colorado.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with Weed Snacks. Thank you for educating the viewers.
Yeah.
And again, let them all know, how do they track you down?
Yeah, so again, you can come to the website, but on Instagram is a really great place to find us. So the best account we have is Bluemat Watering Systems, BLUMAT Watering Systems, all one word. There's a ton of really cool content on there. Yeah, check that one out, and then also at Sustainable Village. We got a YouTube channel. There's a lot of instructional videos on there.
Very cool.
We're just launching a whole bunch of new videos. And
man, I really like your guys' vibe. I like that you guys really have your heart into it.
Thanks,
That's missing out of a lot of business. So thank you for being about the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, take care.